What's up with it, Raider Nation? It's your man Wasted Talent coming back to you with another short video. Uh TMZ reported in an interview with Brett Favre that Brett Favre had some very interesting comments about our incumbent starter and superstar quarterback Derek Carr. Uh it's very, very interesting what he had to say about Davante Adams' production, and we're gonna get into it right after I give you my interest, like I always do. So, like I always say, let's start the show. Wow, is all I can say. Wow. Brett Favre never one to mince words. Legendary quarterback of the Green Bay Packers had a few choice things to say about, you know, our star quarterback, Derek Carr. Now, did he disrespect Derek Carr? By no means he didn't. He even said no disrespect, but most of the time, when you say no disrespect, it kind of means that you're saying something that could be kind of disrespectful. Now, the reason why I'm wearing this McLovin shirt is that that's in honor of not Derek Carr, but Brett Favre, aka McLovin. The Dirty Mac Supreme. When Favre was with the New York Jets, he was, sending some illicit pictures, and I just think it was pretty funny that he did that. But you know, let me get to it. I'm trying to pull up Brett Favre's comments, and Brett Favre is the kind of guy where he doesn't really, look, man, he's not one of those guys who say politically correct things, man. And I just want to know what you guys think about this. He said that, Davante Adams will have a drop-off year statistically due to the fact that Aaron Rodgers is his QB. Favre then went on to compare Carr Rogers by saying this: I think Derek Carr is a very good quarterback, but he's not in Aaron's league yet. He may never be, and that's no disrespect. Lastly, he touched up on the fact that if he's proven wrong by Adams, it will be a complete shock to him. But, I'm going to be honest with you, man. In the last few years, we've had great wide receivers go from great quarterbacks to what you would think was not a better option, right? Like we've had, DeAndre Hopkins, the other resident guy that everybody's looking at as the number one receiver in the league, and he went from Deshaun Watson to Kyler Murray. Now, Kyler Murray's, a young star player as well, but Kyler Murray is not really on the level of Deshaun Watson, really, to be like, let's be honest, right? Not yet. And we've seen this in the past. We've seen Jerry Rice go from playing with Joe Montana to Steve Young. And even though Steve Young was a Hall of Fame level quarterback, then he played and he did all right with Jeff Garcia. Then he left and played with Rich Gannon. And there was no discernible drop-off in Jerry Rice's play. Kind of the only years where Rice had a little bit of a drop-off is when he was no longer the number one option in San Francisco with the emergence of Terrell Owens. So, what I will say is that, listen, I've said this in previous times. Is Derek Carr Aaron Rodgers? No. I mean, there aren't many people in the history of football who have played football at the level physically that Aaron Rodgers has. Aaron Rodgers might be one of the most physically talented quarterbacks in the history of football. And also to bring together that physical talent, Aaron Rodgers also has the mental acuity too to check out of plays. But the one thing that Aaron Rodgers has over Derek Carr is that he's had a myriad of talent. He's walked into a situation that was kind of a ready-made situation. They were a playoff team from the word go. And Aaron Rodgers really hasn't had to go through some of the down times that Derek Carr has. And I think that Derek Carr's career has been marred by that. And the way that he really hasn't been handled in the way that he probably should have been by the organization. But I make no excuses for Derek Carr, right? Derek Carr, at this point in his career, is at a crossroads because we've given him Davante Adams. He has Darren Waller. He has Hunter Renfrow. So he has a top 3 player at the 3 positions that they play. Even though, Hunter Renfrow is a wide receiver, he is primarily a slot receiver. So, and when you think of guys who operate, 90% of the time in the slot, it's Cooper Kupp, Hunter Renfrow, and then who else, right? And then we talk about Darren Waller. You can only name 2 names before you name his, right? And this year, as you'll see, I'm dropping another short on Darren Waller. I might think that he might take his ascension to the number 1 tight end in football, and then Davante Adams is widely regarded as the number 1 receiver in football. So now Derek Carr has pretty much the weapons. Now, can they protect Derek Carr? That remains to be seen. But I've seen Derek Carr perform under worse circumstances with worse talent and offensive line. And, he has a really good running back behind him in Josh Jacobs this year. He's a great running back by committee situation going on. So I think that Brett Favre is a bit off because I don't think that Derek Carr being Aaron Rodgers indicates whether or not he's going to put up big numbers. I think it's more so targets, the opportunities. I think that Davante Adams will definitely shine because he's not the only guy in the offense that they have to concern themselves with. So I think that if Davante Adams' numbers drop, I don't think that it would be an indication of Derek Carr not being Aaron Rodgers. I think it'll be the amount of snaps and the amount of opportunities that he has because he's on the offense with a couple of other guys who are talented as well. And in Green Bay, yeah, you had, Scanling and all those guys who are physically talented, but they're not as established in the National Football League in the same way that Darren Waller is. So I think Brett Favre might be a bit off, but he is Brett Favre. He is a Hall of Fame quarterback. He is a man who played a long time in his league. And there's not too many names you can name before Brett Favre when you talk about greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. I really respected the way he played. And I don't think he meant any malice in that. And I don't think it's an indication or a slight on Derek Carr. She's just stating the obvious. But I think that the math kind of doesn't add up when it comes to this scenario because of the fact that Davante Adams is leaving a situation where he played for Mike McCarthy. And, the coach that they have there now is a very talented coach. But by no means do I think he's on the level of a Josh McDaniels. And I think that Josh McDaniels will feature him in a way that he did with Randy Moss back in New England. And I think that we're looking for some really, really prosperous and great times. So I think that, if I were Brett Favre, I wouldn't bet that Davante Adams will have a drop-off. But if he does, I don't think it's because of the fact that he's not playing with Aaron Rodgers. I think Davante Adams kind of dictates the production that he has on the field because he's just such a special player. And for special wide receivers, a lot of time, unless they have a terrible quarterback, they're going to be able to produce no matter where they go. You look at guys that aren't even as special as Davante Adams, like i.e. a Brandon Marshall. Well, Brandon Marshall played well, wherever he went. And a lot of times he went to play with Jay Cutler, but it wasn't like Jay Cutler was some world beater. You know what I mean? So great wide receivers find a way, as long as they have the touches and a ball is thrown in their vicinity, they find a way to produce. So I don't think that this is an indication that Derek Carr is going to be some bust. And I think the rated equinox is firmly upon us. I think Davante Adams either matches or exceeds his output. And if he doesn't, it's not going to be in all areas. So if it's a situation where he doesn't get as many catches because he doesn't get as many targets, but we get more touchdowns this year than he normally does, he probably will, because Josh McDaniels and this staff knows how to game plan in the red zone. And I can't see Derek not forcing the ball to his best friend to make it worth his while for him coming over. So I think, from that perspective, we're going to be okay. But if you guys like what you see in this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you can. Your brother Wasted is here. I'm ready to put this content out. We want to keep things going through this off season until we get into training camp and we're going full board. So like I said before, man, hit that sub button. It would be greatly appreciated. It's your brother Wasted signing off for the day, man. Peace, y'all. And y'all enjoy your 4th of July weekend, man. And make sure you head over to my brother Dox's channel because he's going to have a live on this very same subject. And his takes are going to be some of the great takes that you can have because it's always different when it comes from my brother Dox, man. And check out my brother Andy's video as well, man. Wasted.